Hello and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books, and we're in June! We're halfway through the bloody year. I can't believe it. I can't believe that we're halfway through. And it hasn't even really been that hot yet. I remember last year, around this time, we were living at my sister. We were moving into this flat and we were living at my sister's and my mum's and David's mum's, and it was absolutely sweltering. And we haven't really had that much hot weather today. We've got sunshine today, which is why I'm in shorts and t-shirt. Shorts and t-shirt. But anyway, today I'm going to be talking about the my favourite things from the month of May. And I've got quite a few little favourite things from the month of May. I will start, as I always do, with my favourite book of the month. By the way, this is featuring later, that's why it's hung up there. I will start, as I always do, with my book of the month. Now, I've actually got 3 books for the month of May, for varying different reasons. So my favourite book that I read in the month of May is Convenience Store Woman by Sayuka Murata. This is translated from Japanese and it tells the story of Kiko and her life of working in a convenience store and how comforting she finds that, and how much routine and monotony work for her, and then something sort of uproots that routine and monotony halfway through. I really enjoyed this. I read this for my book club in real life. The general feeling was that everyone gained some sort of like comfort from it. I used to work in a cost cutter when I was younger, and I can completely see how someone who potentially has problems socialising and things like that, how they would gain comfort from that. So I got myself a lot of comfort from this book. I found there were some really darkly humorous moments as well that I feel like could have been funnier, but I wonder if something was maybe lost in translation. So I wonder if the experience of reading this in Japanese is a lot funnier than actually reading it when it's translated. However, I really enjoyed it and I would definitely recommend it. It was only a short little thing, really good for holidays and things like that to take away. I think you could, I read it in 2 sittings and I probably would have read it in 1 sitting, but yeah, really enjoyed it. I actually gave it 5 stars when I first finished it, but then once I chatted about it for a bit, I put it down to 4 stars, but very much enjoyed it and would definitely recommend. Another book that has been a favourite of mine this month, and I've been using it a lot, and I got sent a press copy of this, and it's The Quick Roasting Tin by Rukmini Iyer. Now, you all know how much I adore The Green Roasting Tin, which is a cookbook that I got last year, and I've almost cooked everything out of it, and do you know what, I haven't had one dud out of it yet. It's just been absolutely fantastic, and it was in my favourite books of last year. Really loved it, and I was so delighted and excited when I got sent this earlier this month, and I've already made, I think, something like 6 things out of it. Last night, oh no, not last night, the night before last, David and I had masala roasted corn with quick coriander chutney. Everything in is so bloody good. That's vegan, along with charred tender stem with black beans, avocado and peanuts, which was also vegan. So this isn't a vegetarian and vegan cookbook. There are a lot of not a lot, actually. There's not a lot. There are meat and fish recipes in here, but definitely stuff. So for instance, I've just opened it up at quick cook broccoli, gruyere and parma ham quiche. Well, you could just omit the parma ham or use sun-dried tomatoes or use artichokes. Oh, for instance, here it said, leave out the parma ham, add a few more sage leaves, substitute the gruyere with cheddar and grate a little more cheddar over the top of the quiche before baking. I would think about adding a few sliced mushrooms, but that's because I add mushrooms to everything. So even on the pages where meat is included, there are, here we go, a vegetarian dish saying you could veganise this dish by leaving out the feta cheese. So for vegetarians and for vegans, I still think that this is an amazing cookbook, and I loved it. I have cooked something out of here that I didn't like. Full disclosure. Shall I tell you what it was? Let me see if I can find it. It was a meatballs thing. Do you know what I think it was down to? Number one, I think it was down to, I don't like juniper flavour, which I didn't realise before. But also, I can't find it, but it was juniper berries and pink peppercorns with meatballs, and corn have changed. So I always buy the corn Swedish style meatballs, which, although say Swedish style, I use them in everything, pasta dishes, I use them for Swedish style dishes and things like that. And I bought corn vegan turkey and cranberry meatballs, and they were just too sweet. David doesn't like sweet things anyway. I really like sweet things, but they were just too sweet. So that's probably something to do with why I didn't like it. But I love this book. I love The Green Roasting Tin's amazing. The only one we don't own now is just the roasting tin, which is I believe that's majority meat. Something else I like about this is that it's got sweet recipes in the back, like cakes and stuff, so I need to get making cakes. Oh, actually, we've made a cookie. We made the giant cookie out of it. So yeah, really think it's fantastic. Love the book, definitely recommend. And then My last favourite book of the month is one that I haven't finished yet, and I'm going to finish it today. I'm on page 210, and it is a mere 236 pages, so I've only got 26 pages. Probably finish it with my lunch in a minute. And that's Lowborn by Kerry Hudson. I got sent this earlier this month, and this was out this month. And this is Kerry Hudson's memoir of growing up, getting away, and returning to Britain's poorest towns. And I just found it fascinating. And I'm from a working class background, but I would say like sort of edging the more working, is there such a thing as working middle class, but like edging that way. So some of the experiences she has experienced in this book are things that I have nowhere near touched upon. However, there are experiences in there which I can completely relate to. For example, the way she's treated by men in nightclubs when she's going out underage drinking, and I just found it fascinating. What it was like living in these places. And she lived all over the UK. She's lived in Scotland, she's lived down in Canterbury where I went to university, and she's revisiting these places, and the feelings that she's getting on revisiting these places. And sometimes she's frightened to go back to these places because she's got such horrible memories of them. She also has a very fraught relationship with her mother, which is explored in here, and yeah, you could just like, I just really love it and think it's amazing. I think it's actually one of my favourite books of this year so far. Really enjoy it, and looking forward to finishing it today. But I'm going to include it now because I'm still filming this in May, and I know if I don't mention it now, I could potentially not mention it in June, as it's not a book I finished in June. But yeah, think it's amazing. Definitely recommend. Boop. Let's talk about Broadstairs. David and I earlier this month. Not last weekend. Yes, it was last weekend. It was bank holiday weekend. We didn't have anything to do on bank holiday Saturday, and quite often David and I are very capable of getting into the habit of, on a day of not having anything to do, just sort of slumping in front of the telly or going and buying some food or not really doing much. And David said, and I said, let's go somewhere. And I said to David, you can go wherever you want. And David used to go to Broadstairs a lot when he was a child, which is a seaside town about an hour's drive away from us. And I'd never been there, which is unbelievable. But when we went, and we had such a lovely day, and I was actually potentially supposed to be vlogging that weekend because it was a bank holiday weekend and I was doing a reading vlog, but I didn't end up finishing it. However, I did vlog quite a little bit of Broadstairs, which I will insert here so you can see what we got up to in Broadstairs. Hello, happy bank holiday weekend. I'm down the beach with David. Say hi, David! Say hi! It's bank holiday weekend. I thought I'd do another reading vlog now. I'm aware there's not any reading going on now. Today, David and I have come to Broadstairs, which is a lovely part of the world, which I've never been to, on the old Kent coast. David used to come here all the time when he was younger. So we've taken a little trip down here. We're going to go and get something to eat in a minute. But yeah, it's really lovely, look. And there's hardly anyone here. I mean, there's more people around there where it's a bit more shoppy. But here, there's hardly anyone here, and it's lovely. New shoes though, so can't go paddling. Doo-doo! We just sat down in a park because it's too hot for us, isn't it, David? So I sat down and I've been reading The Simple Thing. Sorry, David, to cover your face up. This is one of my favourite magazines ever. And David popped into a record shop. Oh my God, the tree is literally like just giving birth on my head. Look, loads of little babies. And then what did you buy?
I bought a Live Temptations vinyl.
That's exciting, isn't it?
Live at the Cooper.
Read some of the songs that are on it.
So we've got Introduction.
Oh yeah.
Get Ready. You're My Everything.
Get ready.
Yeah.
For once is that the For Once
I don't
in My
know, it
Life?
might be. Please Return Your Love to Me.
I'm looking forward to that.
With These Hands.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah. Hello, Young Lovers. Be good.
Okay.
Be a nice one.
Now we're going to go and have some lunch. No, I'm so fucking because the trees.
Oh look,
Putting lots
them already.
into me. Right, we're going to go and have something to eat. Nice. it was a really, really lovely day. What David loved about it so much is that there's hardly anything has changed since he went. We went to an ice cream shop, which he used to go to when he was younger. We also ate in an amazing vegan cafe, which is like a greasy spoon. I had fish and chips, which is like vegan fish and chips. David had a burger. David's burger was better. It's always annoying when that happens, isn't it? When someone you're with has something even nicer. But yeah, it was just a lovely day. David bought a record. We had a really, really nice time. It was really, really lovely. However, my hay fever was playing up. But I think I might have cracked it. I've been taking hay fever tablets since that day, and touch wood, I haven't had any hay fever since then. So hopefully, now the hay fever tablets are in my system, I should be able to hold off until the summer, because I don't really get it in the summer. It's just now tree pollen. Right, so that was another favourite. What else? So let's talk about film. So last weekend as well, on bank holiday weekend, Dave and I went to watch Rocketman with our friends Ryan and Amy, and we loved it. We all absolutely loved it. I really, really liked it. If I can sort of compare it, if you've seen Bohemian Rhapsody, in the sort of, is it called biopic or biopic? Biopic or biopic? Who knows? Whereas in Bohemian Rhapsody, the songs that Queen and Freddie Mercury sung are performed as performances. This is much more like Mamma Mia, in that they sort of break into song, that he will break into song. Taron Egerton does the whole Elton John singing, and it's fantastic. The costumes are amazing. I didn't quite realise how much of a drug and alcohol related life Elton John had, and that's probably because I've sort of lived in the sober era of Elton John. So I was born in '86, and I believe he went into, I think he went into rehab in '87. So I've only ever, and he's been, yeah, no, it might be later than that, because he said he'd been sober for 28 years. Yeah, it will be later than that. So I've only really known him in his sober years. But I loved it. I loved the songs. I loved the performances. I loved the costumes. I just found it amazing. There's some really like tough times in there that he's had as well. And yeah, really, 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 really enjoyed it. Would definitely recommend. Found it fantastic. TV programme David and I have been watching. We have watched the whole series of Back to Life, which is on the iPlayer. It's a BBC Three thing. You might have seen this because a lot of people, after Fleabag finished, Fleabag, a lot of people were like, oh, if you like Fleabag, you'd probably really like this, and the whole season's already on iPlayer, and it's really, really great. You are following a woman after she comes out of prison after 18 years, and I'm not going to tell you what she's done, and her getting back to her normal life. She moves back in with her parents in the town where the crime took place, and sort of just looking for people to put a bit of faith into her. She's trying to get a job, but no one will take her on because of her name. She's trying to sort of unpick her past friendships and relationships, and she goes back to visit an ex-boyfriend who's completely moved on. He's also a complete dick, and her mum and dad are in a bit of a failing marriage, and there's just, the characters in it are fantastic. The acting in it is so, so good. I found myself really laughing and crying throughout episodes, in the same way I guess that Fleabag made me do it. Made me feel like 1 minute I'd be crying, the next minute I'd be laughing. But absolutely fantastic programme. Really, really enjoyed it. We watched it in the episodes. There's 6 episodes, and they're only like 24 minutes long, in the same way that Fleabag is. So we were able to watch it over 2 evenings. But really, really found it fantastic. And I guess if you're looking for something, probably, yeah, I guess I would say, because it's not like Fleabag in that the storylines are nothing like it, but there's a lot of sort of similarities in that there's a lead female character, and the sort of dysfunctional family around that, and the length of the episodes and things like that. So yeah, if you did enjoy Fleabag, I think you would enjoy this. But also, if you haven't watched Fleabag, I think you'd enjoy it anyway. So go and check it out. Right, so now we've got some things. So I'll talk about this dress, which is here. This dress I bought on Depop. Now, you might remember last year I did a video called D is for dress sizes, where I went to different high street shops and tried on a 16 in all of the clothes, in different clothes, and just to look at the discrepancies. I will link that video down below because I'm very proud of that video. It's one of my favourite videos I've ever made. And in that video, I went to Topshop and tried on this dress here. And I tried it on in the 16. I had terrible underwear on that day, so it didn't really go so well. But I really liked the dress. Now, since then, the old Philip, well, I mean, I always knew Philip Green was a prick, but even more so now after feminism, feminists don't wear pink, that thing. And I saw this on Depop, which is a place where I've been buying a lot of second-hand clothes this year, because I've been trying to reduce my fast fashion intake. I'm actually filming a video about that today, so my next video in my alphabet series, which is F is for fast fashion, that's going to be out today. But I saw this on Depop in a size 18, because I am a size 18 now. I'm not a size 16 anymore because I ate more food and it made me bigger. And I bought it and I fucking love it. I haven't even worn it yet. I've tried it on. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's very dressy, so I don't know when I'm going to wear it because I don't go out very much, but I was just thinking, maybe I'll just bloody wear it one day. Who cares? I love the colour. I love how bright it is. I love this sort of like ruffly edge. I love these sleeves because they're nice and big and they don't restrict your sleeves. I just think it's fantastic. And it was £10 on Depop. I think it was £35 in the shops. £10 on Depop, and absolutely delighted by it. So it's my favourite. I haven't even worn it yet, and it's one of my favourite things this month. When it came in and I tried it on and I just felt fantastic in it, I can't wait to wear it. I absolutely love it. So that's another thing. Something else I've bought this month. I bought myself this necklace. Have a little look at it. Go on. Oh, look at it. It's lovely. I bought it from a store on Etsy, and it's got a little moon and a little star on with little diamantes, and it is sort of like a choker necklace, which I haven't seen many of. I could make it a little bit lower. I'm not going to, because I just fiddle around putting it on for ages. But I bought this for myself. This is deep. Earlier this month, I had to stand up to someone I'm very good pals with and say that I didn't agree with something that they'd said. And do you know what? It's one of the, and this sort of goes to show how much of a privileged life I've led. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life, is to stand up to a friend of mine and sort of call them out on something. And I, for a few days afterwards, did not feel myself and did not feel right. And even now, when I think about it, I think, ugh, but I know I did the right thing, and I believe I did the right thing. And I sort of saw this necklace a month or so ago and thought, oh, it's really lovely. Maybe I'll put it on my birthday list, or maybe I'll put it on my Christmas list. And after that happened, and for a few days, and I'm not saying like buy things that will make you feel better, I sort of just bought this as a sort of like, well done, Lauren, you did the right thing present. And yeah, it was just really hard, and I love the necklace, and I don't feel like I'll always look at this necklace and think, oh, that's because you did that thing that time. But I loved it, and I just felt like that's probably the reason I bought it. But I love it. It's from an Etsy store. If I can find the link, I will link it down below, because I just think it's fantastic. I really, really like it. It's silver and it goes nice with everything. No, actually, I think it's because it was about £20, so it's not like a massively expensive necklace. But it is, I think it's white gold plated or something, so it won't go like turn colour with perfume and things like that. So yeah, so bought that because I'm Neville Longbottom and I stand up to pals. So felt good after that. And then the last thing, Minnie's haircut. Minnie has had her haircut. I will get her in a minute. I don't know where she is actually. Do you know what? Since she's had her haircut, she's been so cuddly. She just doesn't want to leave me alone. We get Minnie's haircut every year. Sorry, the sunshine's coming and going, so one minute I'm beautifully in sunshine, the next minute it's a bit dark. We get Minnie's haircut every year. She's a Persian cat, and she gets very, very long, and for a long time we can keep on top of it, but also she doesn't really like being brushed, and it stresses her out when we try and brush her. She beats us up, stresses us out when we're trying to brush her, and we can keep on top of it for quite a long time, and then all of a sudden it just sort of bolts, and she gets these big matted patches, particularly under armpits, under legs, on top of her, and it's just uncomfortable for her. And also, because it gets so hot, we just like her to be cool during the summer, and we put it off and put it off because as I said, we've had quite a cold April and May. And we got her cut the Friday before bank holiday. Now she has to be put under anaesthetic because she fights people who try to cut her. We took her to a groomer before, and she drew blood from the groomer. But they've done a really, really good job on her. They've cut her really, really, like, they leave her little boots, they leave the end of her tail, and they leave her head, because her little boots she's got whiskers to feel where she's going, and the end of their tail, they use that to feel where they're going as well. So she always gets left with a little tufty tail, little boots, and her big ruffled hair. And yeah, she just looks lovely. This time they cut her little slippers. She looks like a little old lady in her slippers, and she's just the super cutest. Here she is. Look at that little naked tummy. Look at that little slipper. You've been enjoying your little haircut? She's probably a bit cross with me because I've just taken her off the windowsill, which is her favourite place to go because she can just bask in the sun now. But oh God, just look at her. She's so lovely and velvety. So yeah, so we're really pleased with how they've cut her. They must have a new person there, because they've never done that good a job of her. And also sometimes they used to cut her and she'd get like little nicks in her skin, because she's an old lady cat. Sometimes they'd cut her and she'd get little nicks in her skin, and they'd have to put like a little bit of glue to glue it back together. But there's nothing like that. She's absolutely smooth. And also we've been absolutely loving it, because she just loves cuddles now. She's been cuddling us. She's been like sleeping under blankets, which is the cutest thing ever. And yeah, just having a, she's just been so adorable. So yes, so those are my favourite things from the month of May. Tell me what your favourite things in the month of May have been. Are you looking forward to June? Are you happy that we're halfway through the year? Tell me what you've been up to, and I will see you all again soon for another BookTube video. Goodbye!